really quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I just turned the recorder on so we have a record.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn that. Okay, here we go. All right.
So it was that was part of the confusion. I have that figured out now. Like which account I'm sending them on and to
Well,
host.
how many people are you inviting? Now that Ellen's not here, there's me, you, Rod, Chuck, John.
I've been inviting everybody on Facebook that gets my shit. I've been putting it on LinkedIn. I've been sending it to my email list just for the general public. Anybody wants to see, and I'm getting a lot of people saying, where's the link and all that kind of stuff, because I'm sending out confusing invites. So I think I'll get a better reply. I just want to make this open and transparent, what we're doing. So it's no question like we're cooking up some conspiracy or something, Not really. Well, we sort of are, but at least it's open.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Chuck. Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
How you doing, Chuck?
No,
doesn't have his mic on yet.
Okay.
Hi, Chuck. Turn your volume up. Your voice. Okay. You there? Anyway.
Okay.
Come along swimmingly. We're getting into this real heavy holiday time where I'm not going to really worry about too much until after the first of the year, really. But I mean, I'm going to keep working, but I'm not going to expect much from people. People are on holiday,
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen. Remember, you were saying if we don't get it by Thanksgiving, we're going to get into this time, and now.
Oh yeah.
So I just have to have limited expectations of what I can accomplish during this period, I think.
Okay. So what are your expectations post January 1st? Like, what do you see?
Oh, Chuck, are you there yet? Can you hear me, Chuck? No, that doesn't matter. Mickey, I think that I might have mentioned this to you. I think it'd be really good to make World News Trust a nonprofit and to start a separate for-profit company for some other purposes. Now, this is a way to get investors and donations into what we want to do, and to be able to offer the services of an NFT mint on the one hand, and out of the nonprofit, at the same time to run an NFT exchange out of the for-profit to actually make a lot of bucks, to get the investors in that. So that's kind of like what I'm going to do. And I have the attorneys, I'm ready to go. I have to talk to the attorney and say, how much money do you need up front? Because I'm going to, he's going to want some kind of retainer. So he said, just give me a plan. We'll go. You know what I mean? So
what does that mean when you say we'll go? When you say to him, let's go, what are the next series of steps?
Oh, that would be,
I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, he would establish a Delaware C corporation, according to him. That's what we should do with a for-profit, right? And we would set about figuring out what instrument we want to use to raise funding. See, when I talked about Republic as one of these exchanges where we can float instruments to fund the company, it can be anything from stock to bonds to crypto coins to anything. These exchanges are wide open, and this is exactly what this guy does. So he told me, go look at an exchange and see what's hot, see what people are selling and whatnot. So I think what I would like to do is it's called a crypto coin, and it's an energy-based crypto coin. I know it sounds kind of esoteric, but it's a real cool happening thing. And he knows all about it, and I have some ideas about it. But I think, after January 1st, man, probably another thing is I can just get a little tighter with my brother. We've been going around this plan. So I mean, it really is really close to just fuck it, let's get it out,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. And then what I think I'm going to do, or my intention, is to start the nonprofit here out of Vermont with the attorney that I was speaking to. I mentioned him early on, a few months ago. An attorney I have here, a good attorney in Vermont. They can handle the nonprofit. Now this satisfies the tax people. Tax people get skittish when you start doing this for-profit nonprofit thing because they think it's a tax dodge, but that's not my intention at all. I'm not trying to dodge taxes. I just want to be able to get both investors and contributors, donations.
Okay.
And so that's what I got up my sleeve. And I'm feeling really good about it because I'm confident we can get this done. And when Connor told me if we get this coverage on the central banks and crypto, that he knows guys that want to invest, oh man, we're getting really close here. And the thing is if we've got reporters that are like laymen, they're not like super sophisticated insiders, they're going to be able to provide the kind of reporting that's going to provide some insight into this to people. It's very, very arcane, esoteric stuff, the central bank crypto stuff, but it's understandable, and it can be distilled into. And the central banks haven't figured out what they're going to do with crypto yet. That's why this coverage would be so critical, because we can help the central banks to figure out what they're going to do. Which, I mean, I don't love bankers, but we need banks. We're not ready to get rid of the banks. So that's how I feel about it. What do you think?
You asking Chuck or me?
Yeah, either of you. I can't hear Chuck.
I just heard him laugh.
I think you should be able to hear me now.
Yeah, you're a little better. Yeah, your mic was down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me if we got rid of the bankers right away, but yeah, I think you're right that we can't really do that.
Well, what would we do? We have to do something in place, So
Yeah.
Well, that's a philosophical question, but like
Exactly.
practical to what we're doing. Like, when you're talking about coverage of central banks and crypto, meaning like what does that mean? Like you mentioned to me, you had your assistant message me to write about this, and I'm like, this is the first I've heard of it. I'm not quite sure of
well, I tried to give you a little bit of a primer there. Remember, I was talking about what central banks are and kind of the dilemma or the situation. I don't think Chuck saw it. Chuck, I'll send it up. I don't know. I didn't post it anywhere. I just sent it to Mickey.
Okay. If it's not posted, then I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was basically a primer on central banks and crypto, and the situation. The central banks have not nailed down what they're going to do with crypto. The IMF, Christine Lagarde's talking about the IMF. They're all talking about it. Every day you'll find stories about crypto and the central banks. And so really we can just enter into that tight little niche and start cranking out copy.
Okay.
And it can be as easy as lifting other people's stuff, but with attribution, that sort of thing.
But how does that translate? Like, let's just say for the sake of argument, in the next 3 or 4 days, I send you a short piece with some attributions, basically everything you just described. How does that, putting aside that it's Christmas week, but how does that translate into crypto people investing? Is that what you're saying is going to happen?
Because we can point to the site and say, look, the site, we have the content on the site. Because right now, Mike Connor, he's the guy that said he could get these backers maybe. He's like, well, what's on the site representative of what you want to do? And I said, no, not real. I mean, it's just some stuff up there so we can get the site going. And I'm hoping to have a much more comprehensive, much more variety. I don't know if balance is the right idea, but if you have everything, then it kind of balances itself out. You know what I mean? So that's the idea with that. And so it's really just to have something on the site about some coverage about, so that the investors can say, oh, I get it. I see what you mean. Because you have to like show them. You can't describe it. You have to show them like, how people are. That's the idea. And I'm going to try as much as I can. I'm even going to just throw links up onto the, that news feed we got in the social area. We can just throw links up. I'll do that. That's good.
Yeah, the way for years, for decades, you've posted articles from other sites, maybe a third of the article, and then you click and continue.
Oh, it's 4 paragraphs. The international property laws, the way they go, you can lift 4 paragraphs. I mean, it's a rough thing. You don't take the whole freaking story.
Yeah,
take the lead and you put them more.
I'm saying like that's something you could do in the meantime, because I agree. If I was a random investor and I went to the site and I saw on that, the moment I clicked on it, across the slider was just 5 articles by me.
And John Greer or something,
I wouldn't take it seriously.
Oh, right.
And so what we need, even if you removed some of my articles from the slider, it would actually be beneficial, not necessarily to me personally, but because it's just too much of the same byline. But the key would be that to almost have, how on a Facebook page, you can pin a post to the top and it always stays
we can do that.
If you can pin on the slider at least 2, if not 3 crypto articles, then whatever I contribute, randomly from like, just get an idea and I churn out an article, it's not going to usurp that if the purpose is to attract people, because none of us have a big enough name. It's not like someone's going to go to a site and go, oh, you got Mickey Z, here's the money.
Yeah,
But
right.
if their thing is crypto and we have
Yeah.
3 crypto articles, so that's a tech question, but anyone can go into, like, you could just click on one of my articles, and I know if you just unclick slider, that article is no longer in the slider.
Yeah.
But then, so maybe
Pin some of your, yeah.
well, yeah, just like tamp it down that a third of my stuff appears in there. But the key would be to pin stuff so that they never get aged out until we replace it with more crypto stuff. Because I agree, I've been saying this to you for years. If you came to the site, if you were just a random person coming to the site, years ago it was fine because there was more variety of byline, but design-wise, it doesn't look modern. And so the thing is, like, what's going to make them stop and look? And if you're telling me it's a crypto / central bank article, then we could each do one loosely attributed piece. I don't even need a byline. You could just say by the World News Trust.
That's how you don't have all Mickey shit all the time. Don't
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I send you something in the next X amount of days about crypto, I'll send it to you, maybe even email it as a Word doc, and you can upload it and make it look like it's a team.
You can why don't you just upload it and don't publish it? Because I'll get the notification. That's how we should do that. Then I don't have the fucking lifting it off the email.
All right, so if I this week I'll put something up there, but I'll say alert, it's there, and then you go in and make it look like it's I don't know, what would you call it, but it's almost like a New York Times editorial. It's like there's no byline. It's the editorial board says this and so on.
Say it's from the World News Trust staff or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how you do it. And that's what we would do at the Detroit Bureau. There'd be one guy on the Detroit Bureau. He might send out one byline story that day and 30 stories that didn't have a byline on. It was just one guy doing it. Lifting from the local papers, whatever they could pull together. Yeah.
This is just short term anyway to lure in it's not like World News Trust's long-term mission statement is to cover crypto, but the short-term mission statement is to lure in crypto investors. So, all right, because when I got the Slack message from Jennifer, or whatever it was,
she didn't need to do yet, Mickey. She wasn't trying to.
So I looked at it, I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know who she is.
I know. Well, now you're doing it. She's pretty cool, by the way. You're gonna like.
I'm not doubting that, but just like there's this moment where a complete stranger is contacting me on Slack, telling me, please provide copy content on this, and I'm like, what? Were we hacked here? Like, did she press a wrong button? Like, I don't even know who this person is.
She started Tuesday. I should have warned you. I don't know. I just, this is happening really quickly, Mickey.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
John is here. I see.
Okay.
Oh, John. Hey, good. How you doing, John?
Hey, good. Sorry, I got my time frames mixed up here.
Oh, no. It's nice. It's just nice to see your face. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. We were just.
I don't see his face yet. Oh,
there
yeah. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
John, I'm mixed up on the invites because it turns out I have more than one Zoom account. So I'm like sending invites on one account and trying to host meetings on another account. I'm like, where's the meeting? I can't find. So
I get it.
I'm kind of mixed up.
I run into that a lot, Ted. I think I have 3 or 4 Zoom accounts. It really gets confusing. I mean, I have access to one for the church, and sometimes I'm accidentally logged into that, and I go to something, and it says, it's St. Mark's, and they say, who in the hell is that?
Right. Yeah. So we have to. It's hard to learn this modern stuff for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
What's up with you, John?
I'm pretty good at it.
Trying. What's up in John Riceland?
Oh, on my end, I just got back from Atlanta, where I was visiting with a client, much against my wife's wishes. And other than that, just getting ready for the holidays, hoping to see the kids and the grandkids. So,
I was saying just before we got on, I was saying to Mickey that we're in this holiday period. I have really low expectations of what I can accomplish till after the first of the year, honestly. So I'm just not going to try to have much expectation of what I can accomplish. I'm going to be here working away, but
Yeah.
you know, I can't, everybody's tied up. It's important that we take care of ourselves and our families and rest and enjoy the holidays, I think. Anyway, I had a really good meeting with Rod, the project manager, my brother, and Mike Connor on Tuesday, I think it was, one day early this week. And Mike Connor, who I work with, remember when I was working at Market News International? He was the CEO of that company back then when we were doing Scoop. When I was working. So I know this guy. Anyway, what he said was, if we cover central banks and crypto, he knows some people that probably want to invest in our company. So for an initial coverage niche, we're talking about going with coverage of central banks and crypto for the general public, not for the sell side guys, but rather for the general public to try to understand it better. So that's what we're cooking up here. And I think it can help. At least we have something we can focus on, something to market, you know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something about this this whole crypto thing. I keep seeing ads on my Facebook feed for the unstoppable domains or something like that are supposed to be a personal domain that you don't have to renew every year. It's permanent, and
I haven't heard about
with
that.
NFTs and all that. You
I'll have to
don't know about it?
No, I'll look at it. What's it called? What's the term?
Unstoppable domains.
Okay, I'll check it out. There's so much to this.
Exactly. I'm just trying to decide if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Whether I should spend $20 getting a CWG services.nft domain.
Who knows?
That would be permanent.
Well, you know who knows, and you can ask. I can ask, but you should just ask that Ryan Munn dude on our site. He's the crypto specialist. Just message him right off the site, right on the crypto group.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he'll get a notification, and hopefully he'll reply. And if he doesn't, I'll prompt him and say, "Yo, Ryan, there's a
note." Yeah, that sounds good. I've been trying to use some of the
that's really good
stuff a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm sure you saw
my
comment.
That's exactly what I want. Thank you. Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I think it's good. The site's starting to go, take on the quality it's supposed to have of that recursiveness.
I don't know if you saw my thoughts about navigation and so forth, but
I'll be looking into it. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read it.
Yeah,
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked good.
That's enough at this meeting.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
John, I think I interrupted you. Can you reclaim your thoughts?
John? Hey, John, you there?
Yeah, my phone just started to act up. Sorry.
No
I can hear you.
John Chuck didn't mean to interrupt you. That's all he was saying. But if you had a thought that you wanted to continue, he didn't mean to jump in there.
Okay. No, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody, if there's any big questions, anything like, Tad, what about this? I'm just going to have another meeting in a week, or message me or email me or get on the site and talk about it. I kind of like to make it like the World News Trust reality show on the site, to be as transparent as possible. I really want to do that.
That's why I put the post in the way I did.
Yeah.
Try to seed that.
Because it brings people in. The site sends the notifications out, and people are like, go to the site. Instead of sending them to YouTube, send them to the YouTube embedded on our site. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, Tad, the only point I wanted to make up was just following up on something we talked about last time, which is, do we have sort of an overall mission, product position that we're articulating, or how is that a Google Doc and I just missed it?
No, here's the thing that came out of this meeting with Rod and Mike. Part of the problem I've been having with producing a solid document here is that Rod and I have a communication breakdown. He's sending me stuff and he's not looking at the stuff I'm sending him because he doesn't know where it is. Like you said, is there a Google Doc somewhere? Well, because what it is he's sending me stuff and then I'd upload it onto Google Docs so he could see it, but he wasn't seeing it. And it's just it's a communication problem. Anyway, we've rectified it. So yes, there's a few different versions, I think, of a mission statement. You know, something he came up with, something I came up with, some, I don't know. You know what I mean? So the thing about this is now that we've broached or are healing this communication breakdown, I think it's going to come together really quickly because I put a whole lot of work into it that Rod hasn't seen, and vice versa. He's sending me stuff that doesn't reflect the work that I've already put into it. So I've got this sort of like, I've got to do what I call, describe to Mike as a document inventory. I got to take a look, what do we got for the documents, and just try to synthesize out of that. And for that mission statement, for starters, would be a good thing. I mean, I've written a number of them. The basic idea is the idea of interpretative journalism, from my point of view, of news that can help people make informed decisions in their daily life. That's like the core of journalism, you know? And so anything we want to pretty it up with, in my mind, would just be, you know, equality or privacy, or, you know, it would just be some elaboration on that core concept of giving people accurate information they can make decisions in their life.
Can I ask John something?
Yeah.
When you use the term mission statement, now you're talking about like you would see on a nonprofit site, like literally like a paragraph?
Yeah, like the examples I sent through last time were, you know, Huffington Post
Yes.
and, you know, other journalistically driven content providers. Is that, you know, what makes us different? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose behind it? You know, and so
It's important.
when I think of corporate mission and vision aren't necessarily, because a lot of it's bullshit, right? But what I am saying is that we should boil it down to, look, why are we doing this? Why, you know, what are we providing that somebody else hasn't already done?
agree.
If we're not different and significantly, you know, unique, then we don't have any reason for being here.
Yeah.
But you know, with our experience, our perspective, our resources, and our approach, that, you know, we have something unique to offer for which we believe there is a demand in the marketplace. Therefore, you should invest. You should.
People are begging for what we want to do. If we can just
Right.
make that clear.
I mean, without that stuff, it's kind of like, well, that's nice. So what?
Yeah, people don't get it. I know.
So Francis, piggybacking off what John just said, and also what you said before that, and what Chuck said before that, I'm going to connect it all together, is since we need roughly anywhere from 1 to 2 paragraphs to articulate everything John just clarified. And you were saying that you're back and forth, Francis, you were saying they're back and forth with your brother, got a little screwed up with Google Docs. And Chuck was saying how he's been trying to use the WNT site.
Let's do it on the site.
Why don't
All right.
you and Rod just stop? You talk about transparent, just stop trying to figure out what the latest version of the Google Doc is. Put it in WNT so John first can see it.
Yes.
And then ask each of us,
Yeah.
like what would you change if you were writing it? And you know what? It could be done in about 3 days.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. We'll have it done by Christmas, you know, by the end of the week.
Yeah.
But
Or
the
by
first
the-
person is put it in the WNT so John can see it.
Yeah.
And then his input can then shape what the rest of us, if he says what you really need is X, Y, and Z, then one of us could deliver X, the other one Y, the other one Z. I guess I'll be the Z, of course. But but I think let's get John
Yeah,
in on this
okay.
instead of just you and Rod, like ASAP, because his
I-
input is going to shape the rest of our.
I will
input.
make the group a private group, though, at least initially. I know
Yes,
that's
yes.
then we
Yeah,
can at
that's
least
fine.
feel like,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think also one of the things you've been talking about that needs to be covered in that group, and part of it may or may not be part of the mission statement. It is the whole profit versus nonprofit question.
yeah.
Throw that out in there.
Yeah.
Get some ideas about it.
All right, good idea, great. Because people have to be clear on that. Because I want people to be able to donate if they want to, you know what I mean? Or invest if they want to. So if I make that clear, yeah. John, I don't know if you got in on time where I was talking about probably making World News Trust a nonprofit and starting a separate for-profit Delaware C
Oh, okay.
corporation. That's like the strategy here. So
No, I didn't know that, but
yeah, but that's
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, that piece of it to me is, you know, that's an accounting issue.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned about.
It is.
Yeah, right.
It's
To
taxes.
me too. Yeah, that's
yeah.
not
No, I
my
mean,
bailiwick.
I
But
want to know what's driving the content,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who are we targeting with that content?
Yes,
Because from a marketing perspective, without that understanding, it's like,
Yeah.
you
No.
it's like any path will get you to a place that you don't know where you're going, right?
right,
I think you can do it a site though, is I can crowdsource this. I can beg people to just send me links that I can throw up.
Mhm.
Get them to put them
Yeah.
up. This is gonna make this into the crowdsourced thing. It's the idea, it's public, giving us the information that we're able to process, the good stuff, and put it up. You know what I mean? Cut out the bad
And
stuff.
then and if that's what we do, then you have to have a way of explaining how that process works, so it's not just garbage.
right.
So,
And why certain items might have been selected out of the hive mind or whatever, and
Yeah, and
thrown
some
into
rejected.
edited content.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Right, because we're gonna be selected in the extent that I'm not gonna have any hate on the site. That's what's not permitted. That's the one
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
everything but hate.
And
So yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
that's the concept. I think. All right, this is, man, this is nice collaboration today, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I mean, to
Oh, yeah,
actually
you
talk
bet.
about this.
hey,
So
so what else do you need from me? Because I got to jump for another call.
go for it. Let's just get back next week, if not before, okay?
Yeah.
All righty.
Or just check in, just say hi, just stay in touch.
Okay,
happy
guys.
holidays, John.
See you.
Bye, John. Thank you.
If these meetings are like a half hour every Monday, I think it's really that's a perfect amount of
Good,
time.
good, and we can, perfect.
Going
Yeah.
going longer,
Eh,
yeah,
Yeah,
just
Right.
hard to work in.
Right, good. So, okay, so 12 to 12:30, Nikki?
Yep.
Let's stay in touch. What do you want?
As always,
Yeah.
as always. All right, guys.
Sounds great. Thanks,
Chuck,
both of
Chuck,
you.
I'll-
See
Chuck,
you
I'll
at
talk.
4, Mickey.
See you at 4. Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right, everyone.
Adios.